Hi, let's have a little chat about Acheron. So her new trailer just dropped and her hype is at an all-time high. That trailer was amazing, don't get me wrong, it was beautiful. I'm absolutely hyped for Acheron, but I feel like there's room for a middle ground discussion. Not, oh my god, she's busted OP, she changes everything, she's a must pull, and also not like, oh my god, Acheron's bait, it's whale bait, you need E2 for her to work, you need her signature Lightcone. Oh my god, free to plays, new players, don't get her at all. I have basically been watching all the Acheron guide build, why you should pull her, why you should not pull her videos. So I specifically chose Mr. Poke's, Gacha Smacks, and EOS to talk about because I find the points there interesting and I feel like I have stuff to add on to it. But before you say this is a drama video, this isn't. I am just trying to genuinely, respectfully, and somewhat neutrally do a middle ground take. But honestly, I'm just scared. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Do you see what Mr. Pokey has done to Pom Pom? Nah, I can't fight this. I can't fight this. Anyway, this is the general sentiment in the community and in these 3 videos as well. Let's start off with me summarizing them for you. So Acheron is seen as this new game changer Nihility DPS. She's essentially a hyper carry that really wants Nihility debuffers in her team, right? On this frame here, we can see that according to Mr. Pokey, the CN players strongly believe that future Nihility debuffers providing stronger debuffs will place Acheron as a brand new tier 0 DPS, and Acheron is introduction to a completely brand new ultimate system and hints that debuff application may also become more universal in the future. So it's a lot of like she changes everything kind of vibes, right? She changes everything, she's so strong, future proof, and all of that. I agree, right? First of all, let's just say she's super attractive character design wise. I feel like her animations are next level too. Hoyo clearly put a lot of thought and effort into making this character work. And with all that in mind, Gacha Smack said this in his video as well. She looks amazing, and Hoyoverse isn't just putting in this work to make her a suboptimal or feels not nice to use, kind of weak, mid-ish DPS. They want her to be on people's accounts. They want people saying that she's strong and you should pull her. And they want her to actually be strong, right? So when you pull her, you'll tell a friend she's strong. People will look at people who have well-invested Acherons and say she's strong.
It is incredibly hard to power creep her. Plus, she's Raiden, right? Raiden Shogun still ain't power crept in Genshin Impact. Raiden May still ain't power crept in Honkai, or Honkai Impact, I believe, unless like they gave her an enhanced version of herself.
I don't debate that. Full transparency, I myself am pulling an Acheron, right? I am gonna pull her signature Lightcone. I'm gonna build up her team, get her perfect supports. But that's the thing, right? I'm doing all of those things. Because as a lot of these videos and a lot of people have been saying, she introduces a new way to build teams, which sounds fun and exciting, right? Especially if you're a longer player, you've been playing your one team, like maybe me, my Jingliu hyper carry team for so many months now, and it's finally time to change things up and bring some spice into the mix. However, saying that she enables brand new teams could also just be a nice way of saying that she won't work with your traditional Harmony supports. Oh, you have 3 Harmony supports built already because that's really all you needed in the past to get your hyper carry teams going, get your Jingyuan teams going, get your Danheng Imbibitor Lune teams going, get your Jingliu teams going, get Yanqing, Himeko, Clara, Dr. Ratio, Topaz, literally everyone. Okay, maybe less so Dr. Ratio because he needs one Nihility, but you get the point, right? Harmony characters are so essential. Not having Nihility units built, Nihility debuffers, which is realistically only Silverwolf, Welt, and Pella. The rest are just dot units that are labeled as Nihility. The importance of that is significantly different from having Harmony units built. Ask anyone for a general account with like a few DPSs like Danheng Imbibitor Lune, Jingliu, Jingwen, even DOT teams like Kafka and Black Swan, they want Runmei, right? Ask any one of those people and they will tell you that they will much prefer having a roster of Harmony units built compared to all the Nihility units that are not DOT units built. It is just fact, it is proven at this point that these units are just better at amplifying the damage of your carries compared to nihility units in weakening the enemy to allow your character to do more damage. Harmony is just more essential to a bunch of different team archetypes and a bunch of different playstyles compared to nihility. So far, right? That's what people are saying. So far, this changes everything because Acheron's arrival makes these debuffing nihility setups good, because just by running the nihility units, it not only allows you to debuff the enemy, but there's a certain synergy that works with Acheron and nihility units that makes Acheron pop off even harder, makes Acheron do so much heavy lifting, so much so that she makes up for the discrepancy in value between Harmony and nihility units that there currently is. I'm looking forward to pulling my Acheron and having her make nihility great again. I have a built Welt, I have a built Pella, I have a built Silverwolf, so I'm feeling amazing. Now, I think this is a good point to take a step back and talk about one of the videos, namely EO's video right here. And to give you a brief summary of this 39-minute video, nothing wrong with the length. I totally did not post a 1-hour video as the last video. In this video, he's mainly responding to comments he got on his previous video about Acheron, where people in the comments are saying that she is not as free-to-play friendly as EO was saying that she is. They said a bunch of things, too many reasons to list, and then EO is basically giving his response to them. I would like to particularly point out what he said over here though, in 33 minutes in, regarding new players, and I feel like it almost kind of encapsulates his thoughts on this matter.
If I'm looking at this from a new player perspective, the investment that it takes from a new player is the same. No matter what you do, no matter how you spin it, as a new player, your investment is the same as anyone else. If a new player starts the game and they decide they want Acheron, and now they're building towards Acheron, the same investment they would do to build Acheron, to build Pela, to build Gwenithan, to build Gallagher, all of those 4 characters take the same amount of investment that somebody else would spend if they chose to get Jing Liu. Hey man, I'm gonna go for Jing Liu. Okay, great. So you're gonna spend the same amount of investment to build up Jing Liu, to find a Ting Yun, or try and get a Bronya. In fact, you spend more because it's not on her banner. So now you have to find a way to get Ting Yun or Bronya. That's a little more investment, but I'm gonna try and keep it clean. So same amount of investment to build that character, the same amount of investment to build whatever healer you decide to use, but you don't want Link, so I guess Ho-Oh, or you're gonna pull Locha, or you're gonna pull Aventurine, so that's a little bit more investment. Maybe Fire MC, not really, I don't know. Like, your options are a little bit more limited when it comes to that because that's not on Jing Liu's banner. So when someone is building for these characters, in this case a new player looking for a main DPS character, your only 2 options right now are Acheron or Jing Liu. I don't have anyone else to compare it to because there's nothing else for it.
Doctor Ratio is free! Yo, Doctor Ratio is free! Only applies to the end of next update, but still, he works so good with debuffs. Yo, Gallagher debuffs, sustained debuff unit, yo! Yo! Pella on banner, debuffs as well, yo! Yo! Free Doctor Ratio! And if you're a new player starting out your account right now and you don't want to build Doctor Ratio, ignoring that, assuming that you don't want that at all, okay, and that's fine, you want to play the hot new waifu character, maybe you're coming from Honkai Impact 3rd, you love Raiden Mei, and this is like Raiden Mei, right? You get Pella, you get Gallagher. What about the 3rd unit? Because assuming from what everyone's been saying, you want as much debuffs as possible. This was shown in the live stream. In order to play Acheron to a full potential, which is what these characters, when they're designed in the designer's room, in the developer studio, are designed to do, she's designed to work better when she has more debuffing units on her team. She's designed to work better when there are more debuffing units on her team. Like running her with less debuffing units, because she doesn't have energy, is kind of like the same as having less energy recharge on a character that has energy. You know, you're basically losing out on so much free things. And so what my point is that you are gonna want to run as many debuffs as possible. You got Pella, you got Gallagher. What about the 3rd debuff, right? If you think about it, in our current roster of characters, ignoring DOT characters, maybe you could have an argument that, okay, you want to play Kafka there, sure. You're going to play Black Swan, okay, but that's like limited 5-star DPS. Your real options, apart from that, are Welts. That is really hard to build for new players, mind you. You need so much effect hit rate, attack, you need crit stats. And then Silverwolf, which is also another limited character. Like, seriously, realistically, that's what you have to do. And you can say, sure, you can run Guinaifen, you can run Sampo, but then at the end of the day, they're just there to apply debuffs. They can maybe do a bit of damage, but outside the Kafka team, I don't think their damage on their own as a sub DPS is that worth it. At the end of the day, they're just there to land their debuffs. Will Lil Gui really be better than Silverwolf in an Acheron team? Well, okay, I personally don't know, right? Like, who knows? Maybe, but I doubt it. And if that's the case and Silverwolf is better, then you're looking at having to pull Silverwolf in her rerun, which is one limited 5-star character extra. And this doesn't really matter if you like Silverwolf or you don't really mind, and you really, really like Acheron and you would play her no matter what the other characters you want to play with her are. However, I think it's worth pointing out because it matters a lot for the people who are just pulling for meta. People who watch these videos and see that, okay, Acheron is a must pull, or not even watch the videos, just look at the thumbnails, right? Maybe you're a new player and you're looking for guidance on YouTube because maybe you're not so confident in yourself, this is your first gacha game, or you've tried doing things on your own in the past and it doesn't work, and now you go to YouTube hoping that veteran players will give you some good advice to help you have an easier time in game. This matters to you because what you're essentially thinking is that, okay, this one character will carry me through the game, but you know, you might need Silverwolf or you might need Welt on top of that. And that's just the first layer, okay? We haven't even gotten into things yet, okay? This is just the first layer. A lot of people are saying Fire MC, Fire MC, Fire MC, right? Free to play, everyone gets the main character of the game. She is able to taunt the enemy and she's able to equip this Lightcone, this godly Lightcone that previously not many people are using. But now this will change everything because this Lightcone, trend of the universal market, will allow you to apply debuffs, DOT, which is a debuff, to enemies every time you get hit. And a Fire MC has innate taunt. You don't even need Fire MC. You can use a March, you can use Japard, any character that increases their taunt value, but Fire MC is the best, right? And this will pair amazingly with Acheron, so it's amazing for free-to-play, low spenders, new players, because everyone has this character. Well, a lot of comments in these videos have pointed it out, but yeah, trend of the universal market is a gacha Lightcone. Let's unpack that. I think gacha Lightcones are actually more rare or like harder to get than gacha 4-star characters, just straight up. So they're not like hardest thing to get if you pull on the weapon banners that they are featured in. But if you're a low spender, you're definitely gonna pull on character banners, but you are definitely less likely to pull on weapon Lightcone banners. So that's one limited 5-star you need to have this team rolling. Or you could just play Gallagher. You're probably going to get Gallagher anyway when rolling on the Acheron banner. So I don't know why people are talking about Fire MC, trend of the universal market that much. I feel like, can't you just run Gallagher? Unless I'm like unaware of something and these creators know more than I do, because as far as I'm concerned, the Acheron hasn't arrived yet. We can't test these things unless it's in dreams, okay? So the second thing is, Pella seems like a nihility unit that literally everyone says that you should run with Acheron, and I agree. She offers AoE defense down as a debuff. She can debuff if you have her E4 as well with her E. And you can equip the Lightcone, the resolution shines as Pearls of Sweat on her to further increase the defense down on enemies. And also Resolution Shines is a gacha Lightcone, so not everyone might have it. The thing is though, it wouldn't be a big deal if Pella had decent free-to-play options, but the reality is that she doesn't have any. Whereas, for example, a character like Ting Yun, if you don't have any of her Harmony Lightcones, which is kind of hard because all the Harmony Lightcones are basically amazing and can be used on most Harmony units. Assuming you don't even have a 4-star Harmony Lightcone as a new player on Ting Yun, you can just level meshing cogs, and it is very, very good for her already. Pella has nothing like that. It's either you have Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat, or you have like, I don't know, Fermata or something. And even in the case that you have a resolution shines at superimposition 1, okay, you need like 136 effect hit rate to guarantee that the resolution debuff lands on the hardest enemies in the game. So yeah, it's fine, but there's definitely a level of investment that's required. And that's not even to mention Acheron's Lightcone options. Let me just say this in the most clear way that can't be misunderstood as possible. If you want her to feel as good as a lot of these YouTubers are saying, you want her Lightcone. Oh, actually, no, wait, you don't. Because all you need, if you don't have that, what's the alternative? Good night, sleep well. Which is, yet again, another gacha Lightcone, which has a passive that's only half as strong at superimposition 1 compared to it at superimposition 5. I think very few people, when talking about Acheron, are talking about her in a setup that's not using either her signature Lightcone or Good Night Sleep Well. You know why? I'm sure they've tried, but she just falls off a cliff without it.
Do not need Acheron's signature Lightcone in order to make her operate, in order to have fun, in order to play her, or do nasty ass damage. The main Lightcones you guys are going to be looking at for Acheron in the event you cannot pull her signature Lightcone. So I'm going to look at Resolution, Good Night, and Patience.
Pearl shines as a sweat, whatever the fuck that damn Lightcone's called, the one that inflicts, puts defense and shred on everybody. She doesn't have any effect hit rate in her kit, nor does she have an incentive to build effect hit rate. So putting that Lightcone on her is mad weird. You're gonna have a very low chance of applying it. So it's weird. The only other Lightcone that can inflict the debuff on somebody is gonna be Kafka's Lightcone, which you're not really gonna use Kafka's Lightcone on her, especially because you probably have Kafka. And I think Silverwolf's Lightcone. Now I can't sit here and think off the top of my head how many of them do, but basically it's limited banner Lightcones that are for other characters.
The Lightcone situation is not as grim as a lot of players are making it out to be. It's just privilege. I say this as somebody that spends money on the game to get the Lightcones that I want. It is a privilege that we have to be able to get these Lightcones. But as a free-to-play player on my free-to-play account, I can't cry or be upset or be angry or anything like that I don't have any of the signature Lightcones that I'm looking for, or an S5 copy or whatever, if I'm not willing to improve that character.
So when people say, yo, Acheron is OP, busted, you should pull her, what they're really saying, what I'm gathering at least as a YouTube viewer, as someone who's watched all these videos, what I'm gathering is you should pull Acheron and have a good night's sleep well, ideally at higher superimpositions ready, or you should pull Acheron and her Lightcone. That's what I'm getting. She is not a cheap unit to build, even though you might say that she can run Fire MC, she can run Pella. If you get a welt from losing a 50-50s, she can run welt, so she's really cheap. Guys, Doctor Ratio is still free. Just saying. I didn't build him too. I get it. Okay, I get it. But I'm just saying, if you want just a character to clear the game, you do not need Acheron. You don't even need Doctor Ratio, honestly. Another big point in EO's argument, and I think Mr. Pokey also touched on this briefly when he's talking about why Acheron is such good value for new players. It's his second ever 11 out of 10 value-wise for new players, first being Ron May. They talk about how because Acheron synergizes so well with Nihility units, you can basically put all your Nihility units with Acheron, so your Pella, your Welt, with her on one side of MOC. Now we're talking about endgame content, Memory of Chaos, where it requires 2 teams. You can put both of them. You can put all your Nihility units with Acheron on one side, and then your Ruan Mays, your Sparkle, your Bronyas, your Ting Yuns can be dedicated to the first side of MOC and whatever hyper carry you have there. So essentially, you can cherry pick the best Harmony units you have to go on the first side to make sure that team does as good as it can, and then the second team will take all the Nihility units, and then Acheron will just make it work. And this is a valid point, I would say, because a lot of the times, even with the fact that my account has Ting Yun, Ruan Mei, Sparkle, Bronya, all 4 of them fully maxed out, traces and everything, and I do have that option to run all of them. I do run into situations where both teams want Ruan Mei is the common situation I sometimes find myself in, although that's mostly for pure fiction. But that's besides the point. It can free up your Harmony units and require you to build less Harmony units in general as well for your account. However, that doesn't change the amount of units you still need to build. You still need to build 8 characters for your 2 teams. And building 2 Nihility, 2 Harmony instead of 4 Harmony, I don't know how much of a benefit that will be. Honestly, it just seems like a reason to build Nihility units, which I'm all for. Let's take a scenario where you have all your debuffing nihility units built like me, and also a lot of harmony units. What I mostly do right now is run 1 harmony or 2 harmony with a nihility unit on each side. I think the standard hyper carry setup is either 2 harmonies, so harmony is once again high in demand and a sustain, or 1 harmony, 1 nihility and a sustain. If you had nihility and harmony units built, you can easily just do 1 nihility, 1 sustain, 1 harmony on both sides with your hyper carries, right? Acheron is just an excuse to promote segregation and promote, yo, you're a nihility unit, go over there. You don't mix with us harmony units, and the other way around. So I don't think that's cool. Segregation is, maybe if you're into that, I don't know. There's another scenario where you've been doing fine, like for example, my account, right? I have 4 harmony units. Realistically, I don't need any nihility units built. I could survive without a Pella because I have run May. With my account, I could easily just split my 4 harmony units into my 2 teams and be fine. So then when I pull Acheron, it's not so much like, oh, my nihility units have a place to call home and a place to thrive in now. It's more so like, oh shit, time to fork out so much resources to build my nihility units now, because it's not so much I can use them on the other team, it's I need them for the other team to work. I need them. So that's my main point. That's what I'm trying to say. It's nice to be optimistic and be like, oh yeah, yo, new ways to use these characters. But the reality is, right, after making all these videos and reading the comments, I realized that a lot of people are trying to build a lot of characters. And I mean, it just makes sense, right? Resources are limited in this game. People are trying to build a lot of characters and it usually doesn't work out. It's usually better to focus on a few characters. And so pulling Acheron, just keep in mind, pulling Acheron makes it so that you're forced to expand that pool of characters you're building. If you haven't built nihility units already, which I would say is more people than people who have built harmony units already. Think about it this way. Imagine Acheron came out and she is amazing with harmony units. Imagine she's not just a normal DPS like Jingliu and how she's amazing with harmony units. Imagine that Acheron has a trace that when she's paired up with harmony units, she gets additional damage. She gets insane damage boost when she's paired up with harmony units. Okay, now that is something that will break the game, okay? Like, your screen will literally crack and freaking Acheron will crawl out and suck you into the screen. And you'll live there happily after with her and you will just murder everything, okay? This brings me into my next point. Why is Acheron balanced? Because nihility debuffers right now are balanced. That's just a fancy way to say that they're weaker than the 5-star limited harmony units. And why are they weaker? Is MiHoYo dumb? MiHoYo, I'm not saying you're dumb, by the way. Please don't... Please. No, they're not dumb. Okay, MiHoYo, please don't ban me. They are actually very smart. This is like selling you the car and then selling you the leather seats, the air conditioning, selling you the rear view mirror, the headlights, and everything later on. Okay? They're selling you the big, fancy, shiny car, which is the thing that grabs people's attention first. And then they'll sell you the 5-star limited debuffing unit that literally power creeps Pella directly, oh my god, in the future. If you believe that they won't try to replace Pella in this team, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I'm not from the future, but what makes me so confident about this whole theory, okay, or this whole school of thought? I mean, we literally saw it with Kafka. Let's just think about that for a second. Let's go back to version 1.2 when Kafka came out. Do you remember what her best team was? And this is the most extreme example, by the way. It happens with basically every character. We'll get into that later. But Kafka's best team was Kafka, Sampo, Asta, or Tingyun, and then a sustain, right? Like Luocha. or someone like that. And what's her best team now? We got Huo Huo, which literally is just a straight up buff for her, more energy for the whole team, more attack, debuff cleansing. We got Ruan Mei, which facilitates the double DPS playstyle, and she's also perfect for DOT with how her ult works. And of course, can't forget the woman who is already cheating on Kafka right after she released, okay, with that new trailer. And so casually, yeah, that's just 4 limited 5-star units that you have to spend Jade on. Yeah, you could say the same at Jingyuan's launch. His best team was him, Tingyun, Pella, and Bailu because Luocha wasn't even out yet. And now it's like Sparkle, Ruan Mei, Fu Xuan. You could say, yeah, sure, it's the same thing. And the same thing for Jingliu and whatnot. However, I'm bringing this up now because Acheron is probably the most hyped character, the character that people will feel that's justified to call a must pull the most, especially since she changes everything once again in the sense that she breathes new life into Nihility supports. So I just want to get this message out that you are pulling a package. If you're someone who's playing meta, if you're someone who's really loves Acheron and her playstyle and you want her to thrive in the long run, being future-proof doesn't mean she'll continue to be strong in the future, per se. It means that you have to continue buying the parts for her to be strong in the future. Just like if you were running a Kafka with her best team in 1.2 right now, I feel like you can hardly call her future-proof. Okay, you need Black Swan, you need Huo Huo, and you need Ruan Mei. Okay, you don't need, but you can definitely tell the difference between that team and a team that's running Asta, Sampo, Luocha, or Asta, Sampo, Natasha, because Luocha is a 5-star limited as well, you know? What future-proof means is that you need to continue buying the parts, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's an amazing business strategy, and it works. People don't call it out, really, until this idiot right here does it. I just want you to know. I feel like you need to know. I feel like it's something that is worth being said as opposed to all of this, everything else, right? I'm just, once again, respectfully, genuinely, wink. I can't wink. Needs to be said. It's just like, you know, to kind of be a counterpoint to the narrative. So must you pull Acheron in the end? Does she change everything? Well, now you have the info. You decide for yourself. That's all I wanted to say. Hope this video made sense. Let me know what you think. Once again, this is not me picking a fight. I am just trying to give a more varied discussion in this community, which I think is healthy. No hate, much love to EO, much love to Gacha Smack, and much love to Mr. Pokey as well. Even though he has probably committed galactic treason, and if that's the case, I would, for my own safety, like to say that I do not associate with this individual and I know nothing of him. Anyway, I don't want to be skinned alive, so I'll end the video now. If you want to see me live and you want to see me yap live, or maybe if you want your account reviewed, I do this thing called stream on Twitch. It's basically where you can look at me through your computer screen and in real time, because what I'm doing on the other side of the screen is reacting to you. And so you can type messages in chat and I'll read those messages and I can even talk to you. So yeah, it's a new thing. It was invented a few weeks ago. So feel free to hop on. We can have some fun. Link down in the description as well. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.